Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Weekly Coder. I'm Chris, and this week we are going to continue with our Frogger clone. And what we're going to do this week is we're actually going to add another something that'll kill us. As if we don't have enough on the screen that'll actually kill us. This is meant to basically make the game more, I don't know, kind of give you that edge of, oh man, I really got to get to the other side of the board. Because right now, you could go up and then go back down, up and down, and up and down, and you could do this all day long because there really isn't any restriction keeping you from losing if you don't hurry your ass up and get to the other side of the board. So what we're going to do is we're going to implement something that will make it to where you have to get your ass to the other side of the board or you will die. So before we add any kind of visuals, we're just going to do this in the code. And we're going to do that in the player script. And what we'll do in the player script, once Visual Studio decides to, yep, there we go. All right, so we'll create some variables, and they will be private. We'll call this, we'll make them floats, and we'll call this game time and game timer. And the way that it works is that if in the original Frogger game, and I'm going to read you this from the instructions, from the actual manual. I'll throw that up on the screen here. Basically, this thing is called the time band, and it says that you only have 30 seconds to move Frogger from the sidewalk and into a home bay. The home bays are what I've been calling save spots, so they're actually called home bays. And they explain that as saying that those are one of the blue open-ended squares at the top of the screen. Time is monitored by the time band, the black line located in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. When you only have 5 seconds left to get Frogger into a home bay, you'll hear a warning sound and see the line turn red. Okay? So, and it also says that if you run out of time before you get Frogger home, you'll lose him, of course. When this happens, you'll hear a splooch sound and see a green X where Frogger was when his time ran out. So, we're not going to worry about the sounds yet because we haven't done any sounds yet at all, which is something else that we need to get into. But what we will do is we will set our game time. Game time is what we're keeping track of. Game timer is what we're going to increment. So game time, let's make that one public just in case we want to change it later. Game time, oops, public float game time, and we're going to set that equal to 30 because it's going to be 30 seconds. And then we're going to do another one, public float game time warning happens at 5 seconds. And then we're going to create a private game timer, which is basically the variable that we're going to increment continuously to check if it's been enough time yet. So then let's create a method, and we'll call this check game timer. And we are going to right click on that and click quick fix, and we're going to click on generate method, and it's going to create this basic method with just not implemented exception. So we're just going to get rid of that line, and then we're going to write some code. First off, we need to increment the game timer. So we're going to say game timer plus equals time dot delta time. So then we're going to say if game timer is greater than or equal to game time then we die. And how do we die? We call game over. We also call player died. So no, we don't call game over. We just call player died. All right, so we'll call player died. Player died. And the other thing that we need to do is we will reset the game timer variable, but we won't set it here. We'll reset it in the player died method, because if the player dies for whatever reason, we still want to reset the game timer, right? Because we're starting out with a new life. So we'll go right here and say game timer equals 0. Alright, so here we're resetting the game timer to 0. Now let's go back up. And this is really all we need right now. So just for the heck of it, so that we can see what's going on, let's make this one public so we can see it in the inspector. And let's go ahead and put the game view panel in with the let's put it in with the rest. Maybe? Alright. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and click play. And we're gonna look at player. Player. There. Okay. So we're gonna move player up here just so that we can see what happens. And if you'll look here, game timer is already at 13 seconds. So once we get to 30, we should go back to our original position. There. And you'll notice that the health has gone down by 1 life as well, and that the timer reset. Because, you know, it's what it was supposed to do, obviously. All right. So now, what we need to do is we need to create a visual for that. So back in our Canvas HUD, I'm going to double click on Life 1. Oh wait, we need to go to Scene View. All right, so if we look at Scene View, we can see all of our lives here. Now all I'm going to do, and I don't know how this is going to work just yet, but I'm going to duplicate this last life. And I'm going to use my transform tool to actually move that over here. We're not going to call this life. We're going to call this time band. We're going to change the color. Where's my... Alright, we'll just make it that color. I don't know why... I don't see my color wheel anywhere. I don't know why that's not popping up for me. That's so weird. Alright. So anyways, that's the color we'll use. And then up here on the width, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna go with 300. I'm gonna put that here. And I'm gonna try one other thing here. Let's see if this actually works. I'm gonna set the X pivot to 1. Is that gonna help? Is that gonna do what I want it to do? Yes. See how when I adjust the scale, So actually, let's try something else here. Let's go to 24, and our scale. Let's make our scale. I just want to try to make it easy for you guys. So let's put our scale at 30. I want to work with simple numbers. Let's go with like maybe 10. All right. Okay. So our scale is at 30. So if we decrease our scale as our timer runs out, then it should go down all the way to 0. So let's put this back at 30. And if you look here, this is the rect transform component of the time band game object. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to go into we'll go into the HUD, which is, did I not make a freaking script for the, yeah, oh no, it's here. Alright, so let's move the HUD script into the scripts folder. I thought I did that in the last episode. Alright, let's go back to scripts and let's open up the HUD script, and we're just going to create another image and call it, oh man, mono develop. I'm going to at some point reinstall everything. We're going to call this one time band. Okay. So now what we can do is we can go to our canvas HUD, and we'll see we've got an empty spot here for the time band. So then we'll drag the time band over here. Perfect. All right. So now let's go back into the player script, and we have a reference to our HUD. So really all we need to do is we need to say HUD dot time band get component what was it? Rect rect transform, okay. Rect transform. And we are going to get the scale, local scale property of the rect transform. And we're going to set that equal to that's going to be interesting because game timer is counting up, but we need to count down. Local scale. Alright, we're going to have to do this. Vector 3. Or is that a vector 2? It's a vector 3. Alright. Vector 3 scale equals new vector 3. No. Oh, alright. HUD time band get component rect transform dot local scale, and then we're going to set scale dot x minus equals game timer. So we're subtracting game timer from the scale, which is currently at 30, and then we're going to set that equal to scale. Yeah. So I have no idea if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. Yeah, that's not what I was thinking it was going to do. That bar is getting extremely long. So, what's going on here? Scale.x. And it is the rect transform. Ah, I know why. It's because we're continuously subtracting. So let me work this out for a second here. So we're taking game timer, right? Let's just say game timer equals 1. And then we get the current scale. Or you know what we should do? We should do this. Private vector 3 starting time band scale. And then we will do copy that and throw that in here. So then we'll say starting time band scale equals. So we get what the starting scale is. So then we can set a new scale. So vector 3 scale equals new vector 3 starting time band scale dot x minus game timer, and then starting time band scale dot y and starting time band scale dot z. Oops. So we're not continuously subtracting, we are just subtracting what the current game timer is from our original starting scale, and that's going to set our new scale. And then the new scale gets set here. So we really don't even need this variable. We literally could just set it up here. This is just for clarity's sake. It's going to help. So let's click start. And now if we find the player in here, LMNOP is not in alphabetical order. All right. That's about halfway almost. All right. So once this gets down to nothing, we should be at 30 in the game timer. Bam. All right. And good. This actually started over. Nice. All right. So what it started over with was the value, because 0, the game timer was at 0, right? And it subtracted 0 from 30 and then assigned 30. So that's cool. We didn't even have to do anything to reset that. That's pretty awesome. The one thing that did is kind of bothering me is let's take this game view out so that we can see both views. And you see how this is just over too far? It's not lining up with the yellow, and I'm very OCD, so we're gonna have to fix that. So I'm just gonna zoom in here a little bit, and right about there looks good. Okay, so now we have one more obstacle to overcome, and that is we need to figure out how to change the color once we have less than 5 seconds left, meaning less than the game time warning. So all we have to do here is we just say if game timer is less than or equal to the game time warning, then we take the HUD.timeband.getComponent rect transform dot color. Ooh, that's not right. This is the, actually that's the, what is that? Is that not part of the rec? Nope, it's part of, it's the image component. All right. Which is interesting because that's the time band. And it has an image component. All right. Okay. So component image. It's not even right. Dot time band dot color equals color dot, we'll just call it color dot red. Else HUD dot time band dot color equals color dot black. All right, so if this works, I'm going to go ahead and say a couple things. All right, so it's obviously not working. It's working in reverse. That's because we have to take into account that it's counting up and not down. This is killing me. If game time warning. Okay. So that would be starting time band. No. Scale. You know what we could do? We could just do this. If starting time band scale dot x is less than or equal to game time warning, because the scale is 30 just like our seconds, which then should coincide with all of that. So we start at black, and once we get down to 5 seconds, which means 25 actually, we can go to the player, if we can find the player, which I can never do. All right. So once we hit 25, this should turn red. Okay, it did not. Oh, freaking hell. Alright. It's because I'm using the starting. So I could just get the local scale. But that's just stupid. I should be able to... So it should be the starting scale minus game time warning. So... starting time band scale dot x minus game time warning, and then this is game timer. Oops. Game timer. So if the game timer is less than or equal to the starting time band scale dot x, which is 30, minus the game time warning, which is 5. And we're going to have to say greater than or equal to. So if the game timer is greater than or equal to this minus that, which equals 25. So we'll save that, and we'll try this again. And the player is there. So now we're going to watch. Once this hits 25, the bar should be red. Sorry, time band. The time band should be red. And there we go. Boom. Okay. So that pretty much does that. Just like it's supposed to. Now, I'm just going to make a quick mention here. This is not very efficient because we are continuously setting this color to red and setting this color to black depending on whether or not this is true. So either we're constantly setting it to red or we're constantly setting it to black. What would be better is if we had a Boolean that said basically changed color, and then basically set that Boolean to true or false whether or not the color was changed. And in that way, you would only be calling that once. You'd still be checking the Boolean, but you would only have to access that property and set the color for that property one time, which is kind of cool. So I think I'm just going to leave it here and let you guys play with it. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, or any of the other stuff. I am on Patreon. There's a Discord server you guys can join. There's not a whole lot of activity there yet, but all the links are down below. Don't forget to check out the channel that my brother and I started, Code Scruffs. Super duper awesome. It's a lot of fun to watch. You guys will get a lot of laughs out of it. Maybe. We do. Every time we upload an episode, it's like, oh my god, it's crazy. It's funny when we do it, and it's funny when we upload the episode. Don't forget to check out my wife's channel, Donibus Maximus. Don't forget to subscribe, click the bell for notifications, invite all of your friends, tell them all about the Weekly Coder and how cool we are, because we're super awesome. We make a lot of cool stuff, we write a lot of cool code, and we're just super cool. Super cool. Anyways, that is that. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. No harm, no foul. Don't forget to check out my Patreon. You can pledge there if you so choose. If you do, something cool awaits you, which is the source code to every single project I work on for every episode. Plus, you get early access to all the content, except for the video, of course. But you will get access to all the source code before the video is uploaded. So I do these videos usually on Fridays. I get all the source code ready and everything, and I upload it to Patreon on Friday. And then Saturdays, I usually do the upload of the video. It takes time to process, so by about Saturday night, the video is usually up on YouTube for everybody else to see. So you guys get about a 24-hour head start. If it's that important to you, go ahead and pledge. Or if you just care about what I do and you like the Weekly Coder and you want to support us, pledge. You can also support us by being a member on our YouTube channel by clicking the join button. And it's $5. And for that, you get the same access. You get source code and, other than that, there's nothing really else to say today or this week. So until next time, where we're going to do some other cool stuff like winning, I think, is what we're up to next. Getting into the, what are they called? The home base. Yes, getting into the home base and winning there. That would be cool. Anyways, see you guys next week.